Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Tough Love Thursday. We're talking about feelings today. Of course, we have to talk about feelings, emotions, whatever you want to call them. And that is really going to be a powerful topic that we're going to go into today on these amazing little short 10-minute segments where I come to you every week here live in my private Facebook group called Simply Balanced Health. Come and join us if you're not in that group already. I have some really fun things in store for you in January that are going to help you just skyrocket and launch into 2024 the healthiest you've ever been. It's going to be amazing. But yeah, come join there. And of course, I'm sharing the recordings of these over on the Beyond Sugar Freedom podcast. So that's another area that you can listen to these little doses of Danny that are really designed to bring you some tough love truths, right? This is really the reason why we can't seem to get out of our bad habits, our bad cycles, is because we're continuing to think and operate in a way that is no longer serving us. And my intention with these little doses of tough love is to open your mind to the possibility of seeing your challenges, your patterns, your inner world in a different way. And possibly even seeing your binging patterns on sugar and your addictive patterns with sugar in a different way that may actually support you in having different results, right? Seeing things differently and doing things differently is the only way that we're going to find the solution that really lasts and works for us in healing our lifelong struggles with food and especially with sugar. So, as I've already alluded to, today's tough love, are you ready for it? You gotta feel to heal. Now, I know that this is cliche. Feeling is healing. You know, we've all heard that quote, but what does it really mean? And why are most of us not doing it? So what I mean in the work that I've been doing with my clients over the last 8 years, my understanding of trauma and addiction and the inner root causes that are driving us to fill the void every single day with food is understanding that the emotional world, which essentially stems from our nervous system, our trauma imprints, our ability to actually feel, for most of us has been shut off. There are many reasons why, and most of these often stem from early childhood experiences. I've talked ad nauseum about emotions and about why we have blocks to feeling our emotions. You can come check that out. I've got tons of episodes over on the Beyond Sugar Freedom podcast about that, about the emotional eating and where these emotional patterns come from. But today, what I really want to hone in on is why we need to feel, right? Why is it actually important to feel in order to heal? And the tough love in all of this is that you're probably not doing this. You're not feeling. You're not allowing yourself to feel all the feels in order to actually support your growth and healing, especially when it comes to your binging patterns on sugar. If you ignore this piece, you will forever be in the sugar roller coaster. I cannot stress that enough. This is so powerful when you understand the deeper levels of why we eat, why we're driving to food at the end of a stressful day. It's because we don't have reference in our body for how to actually feel these emotions. So I want you to think of our emotions as just energy in motion. Some of you may have heard that before, and they are. They're energy in our body and in our cells, in our nervous system, that's just moving. And sometimes it's moving at a higher frequency and a higher vibration. So things like joy and love and ecstasy and pleasure. And sometimes these emotions are moving at a lower vibration. So things like guilt and shame and anger. Right, really icky, sticky, heavy emotions. And these are often the ones that we do not know how to feel. And we avoid at all costs because they're painful and they're difficult, but only because our belief systems about them and our body's inability to actually know that we're safe to feel them. We have not had this pattern for us. So why we need to feel this, we know now, and you can do your own research on this. I know Gabor Mate talks about a lot about this. We know now that collecting and holding in this energy that is emotions, especially the low vibrational ones, physically change the cellular structure in our body. Physically, toxins, these low vibrational emotions especially, collect as toxic load in our body and actually energetically contribute to inflammation, to binging on sugar, to actual disease development. They've started to notice and draw links, for example, between breast cancer and people pleasing. Women who are meek, who do not speak their truth, who are always pleasing others, are more likely to develop breast cancer. How fascinating is that? So we can no longer ignore that there is a vital component of our total holistic health that needs to be focused on our emotional expression, our ability to release, to process these emotions that are showing up in our life every single day, because we're human beings. We emote. We are feeling sentient beings. That is one of the gifts of being a human in this body, in this human body on this planet Earth. And if we don't allow those emotions to flow out in healthy ways and at appropriate times, right? I'm not saying break down into a fit of anger or tears at work. That's actually not going to be supportive for you, but to have safe space for you to be able to do that, whether it's your therapist's office or in your drive home or at in your bed, home alone, these places where you can let these emotions be felt. Because if you don't, they're going to continue collecting in your body as toxins. So we understand this when it comes to food, right? Hopefully. Gosh, I hope all of you understand this by now, right? The toxic load, putting chemicals in our body, eating McDonald's every day. We can understand conceptually that is going to contribute to toxic buildup in our body and thus going to lead to disease. It is the exact same with emotions, and especially the heavier, stickier, lower vibration emotions. Guilt, shame, sadness, anger, grief, just to name a few, hate, right? Frustration, stress, all of these icky emotions that we want to avoid because we don't know how to feel them. And it's mandatory that you learn. I'm laying it out here for you. If you are not willing to begin learning how to reconnect with your body, to feel your emotions, and to find the right tools and safe spaces for you to express those emotions and allow them out of your body, they will forever be clinging on, collecting up as toxic emotional baggage, leading to disease, and more importantly, just as importantly, leading you to continue in the binging patterns with sugar. Because when we start to feel a difficult emotion that we are not familiar with and we want to stuff it down, we will use food. We will use alcohol. We will use drugs. We will use Netflix. We will use any distraction technique. And for any of you listening to this, I'm willing to bet your distraction technique of choice is food and sugar. If you want to get out of this pattern, you have to feel. You have to learn to feel if you want to heal. I know it sounds cheesy, but it's so powerfully true. And I know the journey into learning how to feel safe in your body, feel safe to feel again, is challenging. It is difficult. It is overwhelming. It can feel very confusing and very difficult to navigate into, which is absolutely why I always recommend you work with someone who can support you in that journey. And I am just one of many amazing human beings who are here to support you in opening up to these parts of yourself that need to be validated, that need to be heard, that need to be seen if you ever want to actually release them and release these patterns that you've been in your whole life with food. It takes courage and it's not easy. And that is why I so passionately love helping women through this in a safe, supportive environment, especially when we can do it as a group together, which is exactly what we do in the Break Free from Sugar program, which I'm so excited to be hosting my annual round of this group starting in January. If you want to learn more about that, please come and get on the wait list and you will get immediate access to extra early bird registration, which includes a $500 discount. Never done that before, and some other amazing bonuses. So come and check that out in the link below. And in the show notes, come and get your name on the wait list. But this is a big part of that program, is learning how to feel again and navigating into this work. I have a second program that I'll probably host again in the spring called the Emotional Empowerment Program. And we do that also in that program, obviously diving even deeper into the emotional components. But we need to learn. We need to learn, especially as women, how to feel again and take the walls down and the protectors down and the masks down. If we ever want to be healthy in our bodies, feel free, feel sense of peace, and be able to really ultimately open up to the fullness the fullness of life. And in that journey, we all of a sudden notice our addictive tendencies and patterns fade away. It is so powerful, so healing, and obviously so mandatory if you actually want to break free from sugar. So I know a lot of you listening to this podcast or here following me on Facebook, you are doing that because you struggle with food and you struggle with sugar. And I hope that this Tough Love Thursday has been an important reminder for you that this is a absolutely necessary step in your journey. And until you're actually willing to get into the feels and do that in a safe and supported way with the right guide, then you are most likely going to be stuck in the binging patterns for the rest of your life. And I don't want that for you. And I know you don't want that either. So definitely come and check out the waitlist for my upcoming program. I'll share more details with you if you want some support, if you want to do this with me as your guide and another incredible group of women who are right alongside with you. And if not, please reach out and find that support that feels like it resonates for you. I don't care if it's me or your therapist or someone that you can fully surrender and trust and start this process that is so absolutely important. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into another episode. This one was powerful, right? I hope that you're loving these, and I look forward to seeing you at the same time, same place next week. Thanks, everyone.